What's up, everybody? This is Jessica Lane. I'm so excited because this is our first episode of Safe Space. Tonight, I have some lovely ladies with me. Deidre Carter. She is a North Carolina broker with Lane Real Estate Agency, powered by JS Premier. And I have Michelin Michaux here. She's also an agent in I am as well. We're all on the same team. Tonight, we got something special for you guys. We are going to be talking about the home buying process, from jitters to pre-approval. It's like going to be a 3-part series. So tonight, we're just going to talk about the emotions of, you wanting the house, but, you're afraid, you're excited at the same time, and that you might not even know what is actually to do or what's going on about the whole process. Sometimes it's just completely scary.
I agree.
Yeah, very scary.
It is a very scary situation.
Yeah, very scary.
Intimidating for sure.
Yeah, it's very intimidating. So we're just going to talk about that, how to overcome these fears, and we're going to talk about getting you all the way, getting past those emotions to pre-approval. So I have Deidre with me. We're basically just going to talk now. We're just going to have an introduction to ourselves and why we actually got into real estate. For me, I will say I got into real estate because my husband, he's actually a agent himself. He's been one for almost 10 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, 10 years in the game. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like, I was never really interested in real estate. If somebody would ask me or told me like 3 years, or even 3 years ago, if they said, you're going to be a real estate agent, I would have never believed it. And I only say that because at the time, I only seen real estate as something that was getting away between the time with me and my husband. It wasn't really the whole real estate itself because I really didn't know a lot about it. But being that my husband was so passionate about it, and I just seen how hard he worked and how he moves and the swag behind it and just how successful he has become. And if he was that passionate about it, why can't I take that time out and actually learn, real estate and what's behind it and what's driving him? So I got into real estate because, of course, I've been around it for quite some time and I wanted to learn about it. And so I started digging a little deeper and started learning from him and watching what he does. So now I get it. When my husband at the time, when I used to come into the room, he's like, hey, trying to talk and stuff, and he's busy, and be like, yo, Jessica, like, I'm doing something right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never understood that. And I used to take so much offense to that. I don't know why. I was just the immaturity, factor. But now that I'm into real estate, I love it. And I see now, like, it takes a lot of concentration. It takes a lot of focus in order to do those contracts, in order to do that paperwork, make sure it's right. Yeah, so now I get it because I don't want to be bothered when I try to do a contract. So I get it now. So I got into real estate because of that. I actually do love real estate. I wish I would have gotten into it a lot sooner, because there is no boundaries I feel like that we could have been in if I would have been with him at that time, into real estate with him like I am now. So I really enjoy it, and I'm just looking forward to seeing how things go, the journey, and see where it takes us, me and my husband. So, Deidre, let's see how did you get into real estate?
Yes. So I've been interested in real estate for a very long time. I would say at least about 6 to 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
I've been strongly interested in it. But it was something that I was, it was foreign to me. Because until I knew that your husband was a real estate broker, I didn't really know anybody else that was in close relation to me that did, have this as a career. But just with, everything that's out there, I did learn that it's such a large scope of what the possibilities are when you get into this world, into this field, because it really is its own little world.
Right.
It's such a huge scope of things, from investments to being a realtor to Airbnb. There's so much that you can do.
Right.
And so that's what really interests me, because I'm a person who I love to learn. I love to research. I love to think outside the box. And of course, the money side of it is
right.
It's nice too. Like when you learn about the opportunities that people are blessed with in this industry.
Right. And congratulations on your Airbnb, by the way.
Yes,
oh, wow. Yeah, that's big. That's Congratulations.
Get that money.
Yes, hopefully the first of many, many, many more.
Right.
Which is the plan. Good. But yeah, I just took an interest into it. I think Airbnb as well. Like the first time I ever stayed in one, I thought, oh my gosh, this has to be such a moneymaker. Being in this industry and just knowing about equity and different things, different opportunities, I was like, oh, this is definitely something that is piquing my interest. And so I just decided to do it. And then, of course, COVID happened, which slowed the world down. And I really started to pray about, my passions and what I wanted, what I really found interesting. And real estate just kept coming to my mind. It kept coming to the forefront of everything. And so I just took that leap of faith and I went for it. And, I passed my test the first time and I was like, let's get into it.
Girl, right. That test, oh my God, that test is like brutal. Oh my God, it is just, I'm so glad I'm over that. I'm so over it.
I think that was the one moment too that I really told myself, I said that was God's answer for you.
Right.
That this is something that is meant for you. And I've just been into it ever since. And just, of course, post-license classes and everything kind of takes away. And I do have a full-time job, but yeah, I'm in it. It's a passion and I love it. And I have big plans.
Yeah, big plans. And so, Michelin.
Hey, everyone. My name is Michelin Michaux. What got me into real estate is fairly simple, I'm going to say, because I was asked the question, are you satisfied with what you're doing? And I was like, am I satisfied? No, I'm not. Because I'm just working paycheck to paycheck. I do pharmacy. I work in a pharmacy. And no, I'm not satisfied. I want more. I want to do more. I want to go places. Yeah. I want to be able to say, I got it,
Right.
So I was talking to my barber one day and he was suggesting things and he was like, what about real estate? And I was like, everybody's doing real estate. He was like, everybody doing a lot of stuff, but
that's true.
You can do it too. So
I
jumped online. I found a school. I hit Marcus up because I knew Marcus was in real estate. And I knew his wife was in it too, and we started this journey together. Yeah. It took me a couple of times. I ain't gonna lie.
It's all right. It's okay. It's okay. Like,
yeah, because I got right. I have an older mind than they do, and I got it. And I said, if I pass this test on the first try, the national and the state, this is meant for me to do. And I want to help people. I want to help people be educated when they purchase a major purchase like this. I want them to know what they're getting into. I want them to understand every aspect of it. So that was my journey coming into real estate.
Yeah. And I think it's awesome that we're all women in this field.
Oh, yeah.
Because the possibilities for women, we busting down doors all the time.
Oh, right. What?
So I love that. I love that.
And that unity.
Yes, I love
and working together. That sisterhood.
Yeah, we're going to do something amazing.
Yeah. Don't believe it, don't believe it, just watch, as they say. Yeah, so when it comes to buying a home, what I found being in real estate, a lot of people are very interested in buying a home.
Yeah.
A lot of people feel like as well that maybe they're not deserving, considering maybe where they came from, their background.
Right.
I will say this: anybody is able to attain a home.
Anybody.
Yes. As long as you're proactive in the steps that you have to take, anybody I feel like can achieve that dream of getting that home that they want.
Because it's about how bad you want it.
Exactly.
Right.
And what's the whole reason going to work 9 to 5 or a third shift job, making this money and throwing it all away on rent?
Right.
Why would you do that?
It is a bit scary. I'm purchasing my first home. It was definitely, like I said, intimidating
so many
to say the
emotions.
least. Yeah, so many emotions going through my head. Like, am I doing the right thing? Is this the right price? Is this the right price for my mortgage? Am I going to be able to handle this every month? But in today's world, you definitely have to look at it from a perspective of rent costs more or the same as a mortgage. So do I want to put this money every month into something that I don't own? Or do I want to put this into something that's mine?
On?
Exactly. And then not only are you able to do so much with your home while you're here, but you can also leave it for your children and its legacy. And it's something that, appreciates over time.
And that's yours.
And it's yours. You can do whatever you want.
Right.
Sell it, save it.
Build that equity. Like, it's endless. So I say, as long as you are proactive in the steps that you have to take to get a home, anybody can achieve that. And what I mean by that, being proactive, is you really have to, what's the right word to say?
Make sure that credit score is good.
Yes.
Right. You want to make sure that your credit score is good. You want to be mindful of your DTI, which is like your debt to income.
You want to set aside a budget too, because budgeting is it's so necessary in this situation. Because if you sit down and especially us, we're willing to look at our, with our clients and look at what their situation is based off their income, based off their needs, based off what they want in a home, and then seeing, the realistic side of that in today's market, and basically helping you establish a budget for that. Like, okay, is this something that you can attain in the next 6 months, in the next 3 months, or the next year? Like, what I love about us is we are people who will sit down and do that with our clients and go over those things and, just help them become a little bit more at ease about the situation, and then also excited, because this is something that's for your future. It's for you.
Right. It's very exciting.
It's nerve-wracking, but it's exciting at the same time, because you're really taking a step into your life. This is a life decision. And
it's a big decision.
And to have that right to say, I own.
Yes.
Right. I own. This is mine.
Right. Right. That's true.
Yeah. I think sometimes you have to tell yourself, like, in those moments of nervousness, like, what I'm doing is major.
Yes.
It's a major thing. Like, being able to say you own your home, that's a big deal.
Right. Because my thing is, look at it as purchasing a car. You'll go out and get a brand new car with no hesitation.
Right.
That's the same way you need to go about putting a roof over your head.
And imagine how good you feel when you pay that last car payment.
Oh my goodness. See what I'm saying?
Right. Because I know that feeling. And I was like, go ahead and take this money. This car is mine.
Right. Just to know that it is yours and that you own it,
Right.
So it's all about, being proactive, as I say, and, getting past those fears. And, stop doubting yourself or feeling like you're not worthy to have a home just like everybody else.
Right.
Even if you did come from a poor background or whatever background that you came from. And I've noticed that a lot with some of the clients that I work with. They might feel like, okay, well, I'm low income. Well, did you know that, you can use your Section 8 voucher towards purchasing a home?
Exactly.
Like, it's so many different programs and down payment assistance programs that's out there.
Right.
And a lot of help by owner. Without that. Like, I'm going to tell you what happened with me. It was about 2012. I was working for Dell. I lost my job, but I had bought a house. Well, I didn't actually buy it. I was renting to buy. The house went but $110,000. I was not financially educated to go to the lender, my landlord, and say, hey, I lost my job. What can I do? I'm working towards buying this house. What can I do? I wasn't educated enough to know that. So I lost my house, $110,000. And it was a beautiful home, 3-bedroom, full basement, split level house.
Oh,
Yes,
no.
house.
And, it's just a matter of knowing
And
things.
a lot of people just don't know.
Yeah. So
they don't know.
It's the education part is very important. That's why I want to tell people and let people know.
Finding an agent that makes you feel comfortable is important.
Right.
It really, that can be a big, it's already a big decision, but who your agent is can be a big decision as well. Because in anything that I do, I just want to be in situations where I'm with people who make me feel comfortable.
Exactly.
Especially in situations that involve money. It's something that's so big that just find the agent that works for you, that makes you feel okay about your decisions and makes you feel good about the numbers you're seeing in front of you, and helps you understand what those numbers mean. Yeah. And someone who's patient with you, especially the first time home buyers, you have to have someone that's patient with you, because it's a lot to explain.
Trustworthy.
It's a lot to explain. And you want to have someone who's willing to walk through those steps with you and hold your hand through that process and make you feel like, okay, I can do this. Right. Someone who's constantly, checking in on you to see that, even if your headspace is okay. Like, hey, I know we had a discussion the other day and you weren't feeling that great about it. I just wanted to follow up with you and see how you're feeling today. Are there any questions that you have that I can, help you?
Right, that goes a long way.
It really does.
That goes a long way.
If you find those people, an agent that does that for you, then that's a sign right there that you're on the right path. that you can do this, you know,
Right.
and establishing that relationship, you know. So
Right, because I make sure that every Monday, I reach out to all my clients, whether what process they are in, and just check on them and see how they're doing. It goes a long way. Like,
right.
So many times I hear a lot of my clients tell me, okay, well, I haven't, they worked with a prior agent before, and it just wasn't really that good. Like, they didn't stay in contact with them. They didn't know what was going on, or it might have been a lack of knowledge on the agent's part as well. So you want to make sure that you always stay in constant communication, because that does go a long way. That provides that safe space, that provides that reassurance and comfort that they need to go forward with that process. Yeah, it's scary, but we're there to like push them along through the process.
And someone who's honest, honest and upfront about everything. Because I know for me, like, there's so much to learn in real estate that if there is a question that I'm not, like, let's say I don't know about it, I may not know right now, but you best believe
I'm gonna find out for you.
You best believe that I'm working with you. I'm going to do what I got to do to find out the answers for you, and that is important. Someone that doesn't just throw your questions away, someone who really writes them down, or just takes a note of them, a mental note, and is able to follow through on those, those questions that you had, and able to give you answers, because that right there is important, because a lot of people have a lot of questions, because I know I would.
Yeah.
And I did.
And that's natural. That's very normal to have a lot of different questions, especially going into it like blind.
Mm-hmm. And no question, in this situation, no question is a dumb question.
Yeah,
ask all the questions you need to ask, and if that person that you're speaking to is not willing to share the information, or looks at it as a nuisance or anything like that, then that's a sign that that's not the agent for you. The right agent is going to be there, proactive about any and all questions that you have, because they understand this is a big deal in the person's life. This is a big commitment, to make.
Right.
And just making sure that you establish that within whatever agent you choose is very important. Right. Because I definitely worked with a great agent when I was in Virginia and I bought my first home. He was great. He answered any and all questions. He was always there when I needed to talk, and that matters.
That goes a long way.
It does. It goes a long, long way.
So, what would you say to someone that's listening right now that is interested in buying a home? Like, what are some of the steps, or what it is that they need or to be aware of when actually, going into the home buying process? You definitely want to be mindful of, you want to know what your credit score is. Mm-hmm. I suggest to any of my clients, you can get a credit report from creditreport.com, just see what's on there, see what your score is. Get knowledgeable about that.
And don't settle for the 580. That's what I tell my clients.
Right.
I want you to be at least in the 600 range, 620, because the better the credit, the better the rate.
That in itself is something I wish they would have taught us in high school.
Right.
Like, I need, because having a good credit score is such a value in everything that you do as an adult, because every time you go anywhere, what they want to look at, your credit.
Your credit.
So I think that people definitely need to focus in on that, and then just take the routes to. If your credit isn't the best, there's so many things you can do to improve it. So many things. So don't let that stop you from wanting to buy a home.
And we do work with lenders that actually, if you don't pre-qualify for a home, we work with lenders that will walk you through that process, that you can do credit repair. As long as you stay proactive and you do the steps that you have to do and what they tell you to do, there's no reason why you should not be able to obtain a home.
Do not be scared.
And you want to make sure you also keep, or at least save for a home. You want to have savings as well. That's very important, because so many different things that when you get into the home buying process, which we will discuss in part 2 next week, of what, some of the things that you do have to pay for during, the due diligence period, once you're on the contract. So we will be going over that in our next segment. But
and when you look at those numbers, like when your agent gives you those numbers, like, I know we're going to go over it then, but don't be intimidated by that either, because a lot of those things are just one-time only payments. They're not anything that you're going to have to keep continuously coming out of pocket for. You
and actually at closing, some of those things you do get back at closing.
Yes,
you get it credit back.
And you get it, towards your closing and everything. Yeah, you do. So
but just have some money ready.
Yeah, you
Ready
do
cash.
want to have a savings, and if you don't have a savings, it's good to go ahead and start saving your money now, putting money to the side, just so you can be ready for when these expenses come through, that you'll be able to afford those things and get those things taken care of.
Right.
Now, don't rush. Don't think you're going to get a house in 2 months and 3 months if you don't have the credit or the cash. Take your time. Be patient with it.
Yeah.
Good things come to those who wait.
I'm a firm believer of that. I am a firm believer of
Exactly.
that.
I'm here for it.
We gonna be ready to help you when you need.
Yes,
when you're ready, we gonna be ready.
Right.
Right.
We're gonna be waiting on you.
Right. And it's always good. Like I always say, nobody when they buy a home, they're not obligated to go with a realtor. But
Right.
they're not. I mean, you don't have to. But we do recommend that you go with a realtor, and there's so many big benefits behind actually being, having a realtor. Yeah,
it's not a protection behind working with a realtor in this type of transaction, because there can be a lot of things that you're looking at and you have no understanding of what you're looking at.
and you don't want to get taken advantage of at all.
Right. And then you could buy a home, and then there's so much more money you have to put into everything after you purchase the home. And so having a realtor that walks you through that process and holds your hand through it, and
it means everything.
It does. It really can. And it can save you a lot of money. Like, okay, yeah, you had to spend this amount of money on your agent, but look how much it saved you in potential costs if you made these wrong steps and these wrong moves. So an agent definitely is a benefit in this situation for sure.
Right.
I wish I would have had one talking to me.
Yeah. It makes a world of difference when you have an agent.
It does.
That is for you, that is going to look out for your best interests, it's going to help you make the best decision. Like, it goes a long way.
It does. It really, really does.
And I love the whole process. We get to go shopping for houses. You know how
right. Like, that is like one of my favorite things to do. Like, go out with a client, go house hunting. Like,
and
I
then when
love
you
that.
are in your house and you can visualize.
Yeah, and it's just the visualization behind it.
Yourself in there and all your stuff.
Yeah. It's
that's
like
the best feeling.
Yeah, it is. Like you go through and like do a showing or whatever, and you can just see like, oh, I can see, oh, this will go over here. This furniture could be over here. I can use this space for this. Like, it is a very exciting thing to go through.
Very beautiful.
It really is. So I know as far as once you do decide you want to go with it, which I do suggest, there are things in the process to pre-approval. You want to make sure if you do speak with a realtor, of course they will, go over the same sort of things that, we mentioned before. Make sure that, you're going to ask you about your savings, as far as your income goes, just to make sure if you're ready, like what it is that you're looking for, things like that. And what you will need a pre-approval. Pre-approval is basically, you go with the lender. The lender doesn't have to be one of our preferred lenders, because we do have preferred lenders that we work with, but you're welcome to use your own, and you're welcome to get as many pre-approvals as you want to.
Now, explain what the lenders are. This person will give you, heads up on what you can purchase and, how everything is looking with your credit score.
Yeah, so they're definitely going to, once you get with the lender, once you connect with them, they're going to have you to fill out an application with them. So when you fill out the application, of course, on them on their end, they're going to go ahead and go through your credit, figure out, what it is that you might need to pay off, or, maybe, it's good enough and they can go ahead and write a pre-approval, but that pre-approval is what we need to be able to know what your price range is, to be able to look for a home specifically that's in your range and based on what your wants and your needs are. Yeah, so we do have a lender that is getting ready to come on. Her name is Tamara Wilson. We're actually getting her on the line now. She's with Guzzo and Company.
She's the best.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she is really sweet. I absolutely love her. We connected via Instagram. She actually reached out to me, and we actually have used her for a couple of deals of ours. She's going to come on the line and just basically talk about the different programs that she offers, and basically the pre-approval itself, just so you can have an understanding of what it's like to actually, connect with the lender and what you will be going from there.
Yeah. And what kind of deep dive they do into your financial situation,
Right. So as we're getting on the line,
I want to also say one of the best parts too about that pre-approval and the search process is when you are researching, looking at neighborhoods, looking at property types. If you have questions about different, what the the differences, the main differences between condos and townhomes, or the benefits of having your own single-family home, those type of discussions, all of that is exciting. All of that is exciting, and you should definitely start doing your research about what your preference is. Like if you're someone who wants to live in a townhome where the actual people have their own maintenance crew that actually mows the lawn and does all that because you don't want to, have to do any of that during the month or do the year, then definitely just think about those decisions, consider what is out there, and go with what's best for you at that time.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That process is fun. I love that.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
So we do have Tamara on the line now. Hi, Tamara. Once we refer a client over to you as the lender, if you could just explain to them exactly what they would be going through and the different programs that you would be offering to them or that you have available.
Sure, absolutely. So once you all refer us to a home buyer, from there we kind of take the lead by, for me, I have like what I call a quick chat with them. In that initial chat, I want to kind of go over their budget. Do they have a specific budget? I want to go over their time frame. When are they trying to purchase? When are they trying to move? And then I want to kind of go over some of the different products that we do offer because we're not a cookie cutter company. We do try and think outside the box. So therefore, we're able to offer several different lending products for our customers compared to our traditional banks and those types of places. So yeah, I have a quick chat with them just to kind of get some backstory, get to know who they are. And then from there, we can do the mortgage loan application. I'm going to either do it on the phone with them if they have time, or I just kind of send it to them in an email and then I follow back up with them within 24 to 48 hours. So yeah, once we have the application, then that part says, hey, let's begin to get into some documentation. Let me see your income statements, which is typically your W-2s, tax returns if you're self-employed. We also need to see a history of your pay stubs, maybe a month or so of pay stubs. We're also checking your credit to see where things are at. And then we're verifying your employment. Have you been on the job for 2 years? If not, just kind of let us know what's going on. Again, we try and work with the customer right where they're at. From there, we work towards their pre-approval. And I know I just caught someone saying that they love the pre-approval process. I do too, because I know a lot of times when they're buying or looking to buy a home, they're very nervous. But then once we get into that pre-approval process, all the stress has been alleviated. And so they're very much excited. So I am too. So yep, we'll go ahead and we will issue the pre-approval, but we're also doing what we call a preliminary underwriting. So I'm also doing, checks and balances and making sure that everything adds up, the math is mathing, everything checks off so that there are no hiccups, down the road. So yeah, once we get that pre-approval out, we tell them to go, house shopping with you all. Go out there and see what you want within this price range. If anything changes, just let me know. We can go back to underwriting and see can we make any sort of adjustments, and that sort of stuff. I'm also checking interest rates while you're out there shopping because I see.
And interest rates are going down.
Yes, they
The market is hot right now.
yes they are. And so I'm actually checking interest rates on a daily basis, especially if I pre-approve someone. I'm checking those rates and I'm letting you all know, hey, we've seen an improvement in the rates. Let's go ahead and think about trying to lock in something very soon because I want you to have the best pricing overall. So
Right.
if you're out there shopping and then you say, hey, we have a contract, we ready to go ahead and move forward, then that's when everything else starts to take place. The appraisal, the inspection, all the paperwork from the buyers to the sellers take place. I'm still right there. I'm still communicating. I basically hold their hands from start to finish.
Communication.
I'm communicating updates. I'm talking to the realtor. I'm talking to the buyer. I'm available until the end of the loan closes. So one thing I always offer during this whole process, during the pre-approval, is telling the buyer to, when it's time for them to shop for their homeowner's insurance, I always ask them to go back to their auto insurance because they will bundle a deal for you, and they will, give you a discount for having two or more products with them and for bringing them, more business. So that's another thing that they can look forward to. And then the last two steps are typically, hey, now we're going to go back to underwriting to make sure that all of our conditions are met. There's been no changes in credit or finances from when we first started. And then we go right to clear to close, where we schedule a date.
Yay!
Schedule a date
We
and
love
time,
that.
and then we are clear and we're done. And I still keep in contact even after that to see, how was your experience? Is there anything else we could have done better? Any feedback? Because I don't want it to be a transactional thing. I definitely try and personalize each and every clientele I work with by being, transparent and relatable. So that's the whole pre-approval process that we have going on. As far as products, we cater to different clientele and different I would say buyers. So we have your traditional residential home products, your FHA, your VA, your conventional, even down to USDA for our rural and urban areas. Each loan product has their own criteria. FHA, for example, says, hey, if you come into this loan with a 580, okay, no problem. You just need to put down at a minimum 3.5%. And if you don't have it, let me go back to the lender and see what kind of down payment assistance they have for you. You just have to kind of come in with closing
Right.
costs. But if you have a great realtor, they can negotiate concessions for you to even help with the closing costs. Not to mention,
Right.
lenders would even give a credit as well to kind of help offset some of that cost for you. So again, I am working to the best of my ability for the entire loan for the buyer. So yeah, we do have different products. We even have what's called non-traditional products for our self-employed, for those who are non-citizens, non-residents of the U.S. We call those foreign nationals or even I-10s. So
That's
they don't
good.
have a social, but they can still, purchase real estate over here on U.S. soil by way of our different products that we have. And then last but not least, we partner with over 75 different lenders. We do all of this off of one credit pool. So we're not your traditional banks. We do one credit pool and we go shop
One
one
time.
time, and we go
One
shop and we
time.
go see who has the best rate, the best pricing, the best product, and we bundle that for you.
That's
That's
everything.
everything. Yes. So we
Yeah.
go to bat for our clientele. We personalize every experience, and we are available by communication. My broker is in Los Angeles, California. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. I can service the entire North Carolina, but we are always
Hmm.
online because we're on different time zones. So if I'm not available, my broker steps in for me. So communication is very key for us. We don't want to drop the
It
ball. We want to
is.
be very, there for you all. As Jessica said, we are
Right.
always available for you all. But yeah,
Right, and that is so important for a lender to just stay in constant communication. Like I hear so many times of like, clients going with lenders and they just don't get that communication, but that communication piece, if you have that, that means everything.
That means everything to me. You are the best, Tamara. I really appreciate you. You make my job so easy.
thank you, Michelin. I definitely hold up to what I say from our first initial contact. I want to make sure that I do what I say I'm going to do.
Yes.
Right.
And I love it. It's like we've been working for years.
Yeah, so we use Tamara from time to time, like on some of our deals, and like I like that she, is very reassuring to our clients. I have one that was like real hesitant and just didn't really know what to do or make a decision about what route she wanted to take, and she was just kind of discouraged, and so she gave Tamara a call, and she was able to talk with her, about the situation that she was going through, and just offer solutions. So I really like that about Tamara as a
Yes.
lender. Like, she's very thorough and she's good at what she does. So
And
I
she
really
listens.
appreciate that. Yes, she really listens, and that means a lot to a client that somebody
Hmm.
actually hears their feelings and what they're going through. It's not all about the lender. It's more, about the client and what they're going through and what it is to that their needs are that they need to get taken care of. Yeah, every situation is different. Oh, go ahead.
You are more than welcome. Thank you all for having me. I do want to leave one last thing for you all. For me and for my entire company, we add value-based services to the entire, process. So we don't typically say that we're like doing any sort of transactional encounters. We are very personable, but also we add in value because we know that already nervous, the stress levels, they're overwhelmed. So we tend to say, you know what, let's become more personable with them. And it helps to kind of alleviate all of the nerves that happens in there. So I would say, adding value to the entire, just from start to finish, it helps them to even, make a decision on, which way they want to go as well. So, yep.
Right, right. And I want to thank you so much for being on tonight. If anybody has any questions for Tamara, like if you are actually, thinking about or considering about going with the home and you would like to connect with Tamara, we will leave her information below in our podcast, as well as if you have any questions, you can always leave them in the comment section that we will have available underneath this podcast. So, Tamara, thank you so much for being a part
Thank
of this
you.
podcast tonight. I really, truly appreciate it.
No, thank you all for having me. I hope you all have a great evening as well. Thank you so much.
So, thank you. You have a good night.
She is awesome. I mean, awesome, awesome, awesome.
And that is of such value and importance. Having someone like that who is willing to assess every situation and look at them differently and determine your needs. That is so important.
Right. And I know, like, as far as our firm, JS Premier, like, we have a lot of great lenders. We really do. A lot of preferred lenders. But I do know, like, you don't have to go with the lenders that we have. Like, you're always welcome to use your own. Just know that, like, if you bank with a credit union, it's good to have that relationship. They have a lot of great programs as well, including, like, State Employees Credit Union. They have a great program that you should really look into if you are happen to be a member. Credit unions are another way to go. So I welcome, anybody, any client, like they're welcome to use their own lender or they can use one of our preferred lenders.
And I want to highlight what she just said is about the down payment assistance. That right there is so important. Basically, like you said, for a lot of people who aren't, nervous or anything about those fees, those upfront fees, her just saying that alone is so important for people who are trying to get into this and buy a home for their family or for investments. Like, it is something that can be done with help.
Right. So there are a lot of down payment assistance programs out there.
There are a lot
and
of programs.
Yeah, and there are also some that they are grants where they actually can, go towards not only down payment but also closing costs as well.
Yes.
And you never know unless you ask the questions.
Right.
So as long as you have it in your mind that you want to buy a home, just get out there and ask the questions, whether you're asking us or whether you're asking somebody else. Just get out there, ask the questions, and find the knowledge and the information that suits you and your situation.
Right. I believe that wholeheartedly. So I appreciate you ladies being on with me tonight. If anybody is out there and they are interested in purchasing a home, I will leave our information below if you just want to have a conversation with us. I will have that information available. Just reach out. We're willing to answer all your questions and figure out what it is that you're looking for and how to move forward. So I appreciate everyone being on tonight. I will be leaving everyone's information. Oh, and Deidre has something to add.
Don't forget, if you do have any questions, I know Jessica in the next episode will definitely be answering those questions. So if you have questions, leave them down below.
Right.
And she'll be answering them at the beginning of next week's podcast for you.
Right.
So we're not.
Please.
Yeah,
we will be answering your questions. So if you listen to this podcast and you have questions, just leave them in the comments and we will address that in our next episode. So we carried you through from the initial process of getting over those fears to be like, okay, I want to take a leap of faith and I want to dive in, try to get this home that I've been wanting for a long time and just get through that part into the pre-approval process. So next week, we're going to be talking about once you're pre-approved, what happens next. So that will be on our next segment. And I want to say thank you, Michelin. Thank you, Deidre, for being a part of this podcast tonight. I really truly appreciate it.
I did too.
Yes. So,
and I'm excited for everyone out there that's listening, whether you're a first-time home buyer, whether it's your second, third, fifth, sixth home. I'm excited for you. And I'm excited for your process. I'm excited for your journey. And I wish everyone out there the best of luck.
Right. Step out there on that faith. You got it. You got it.
You got it. You got it. So thank you guys so much. And this concludes our season 1, episode 1 of Safe Space. We'll see you guys next